how far is Kamala Harris willing to go when it comes to implementing her black agenda for black Americans? Is this something that she's just going to propose and, leave it up to Congress to figure out? And what if Republicans or some shady Democrats say no or decide to block it? How far is she willing to go to make this happen? So my question for black people in America, when it comes to presidential candidates, is it important that they verbally say, X, Y, and Z policy is for specifically black Americans? And that's an honest question. I thought about that earlier while putting together my notes for this video. Does someone like a Kamala Harris or really any presidential candidate, do they need, keyword NEED, do they need to create specific policies just for black Americans? Let me know in the comments. But as you guys probably should know, hopefully you Kamala Harris today, depending on when you're watching this, or yesterday, she put out an extensive 9-pager. I mean, the text is like 12 font size. So this is a chunk, a piece of specific policy that is aimed for black Americans. Now, in my honest opinion, and we're gonna go through at least 3 key parts that I found pretty interesting in regards to her black agenda, I guess we can call it that. But as I was reading it, it's some of the things she's been kind of talking about throughout her campaign, which has only been like 3 months. But it kind of mimics that, and she was on Roland Martin show the other day, and when he asked her, what is your position on creating legislation or policies specifically for black people, and her answer was kind of understandable. Dare I say it was understandable, because she pointed out, Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Act and everything that it brought to the table. And just like they say, what helps black folks helps everybody. When you can help the bottom of the barrel, which I don't like to say black folks are, but when you help those who are in need of help because of, institutions that were kind of created to, exploit and hold people down, which that's a whole nother conversation. When you help those kind of people, that lifts up everybody. And we see that with the Civil Rights Act, women, with women rights and individuals with disabilities and Asian people and Mexican people. Like, it helped a broad amount of people, and it also helped black folks, but it was specifically aimed to help black people. You know what I'm saying? So when we're going into her policies, and I would highly suggest you take some time, go to her website and read it. Just type it in Google, and it's literally the first option. Read it. It's a 9-pager, but if you're really about that life, if you're really about trying to at least get a decent understanding of what she's trying to propose, then we can have that conversation. But if you don't even want to read it, don't waste my time trying to argue with it. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're just going to look stupid. But let's go ahead and get into some policies which I thought was pretty interesting. And like I said, like, she didn't do anything off the wall. And if you kind of read it, you'll kind of, can substitute, black Americans with Americans. Honestly, like, if I got to be honest, nothing is really specific to black people. And she has a lot of black statistics, which, is nail on, but like none of the policies which is only for black people. White people, Mexican people can't benefit from it. I'm sure they can. So just a quick overview. As you see here, hopefully I'm creative enough to have something here for you. She has it in 5 sections, and she breaks everything down pretty daggone decently. The only thing that's missing is like how she's going to pay for it, which she already kind of briefly described with raising the taxes for those who make 400,000 and up. But other than that, like, this is pretty detailed. And it's weird that a lot of Republican voters are always saying she's not talking about policy, she's not talking about this, she's not talking about that. This is pretty detailed. And like I said, it's 9 pages. Trump ain't got nothing close to something this detailed in his 9-ish pages. That's pretty impressive. But let's go ahead and get into it. So she breaks it down into 5 categories. 1, providing 1 million loans that are fully forgivable to Black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. 2, championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help Black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers, which I really like that one right there. Supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets so Black men who invest in and own these assets are protected. I'm not really a big fan of cryptocurrency, but I would like to know, and she does kind of get into some detail of what other digital assets, what that is. Launching a national health equity initiative focused on Black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them. Once again, that's fact. You know what I'm saying? And for her to even be able to freely say that, I think speaks volumes, because a lot of politicians may not want to like single a statistics like that is for Black people. Legalizing recreational marijuana and creating opportunities for Black Americans to succeed in this new industry. I'm not going to get into the whole marijuana thing. I'm not a marijuana user. I don't, cast any shade for those who do, but I would like for her to make it legal, and then, what is it? Take the offense for getting caught with marijuana off of a federal level. If that makes sense. I wasn't prepared to say this, but I just remembered, because it's a federal one, I believe. So if you get caught with it, it's just as punishable as getting caught with like crack cocaine or meth or, those tier 1 type drugs. So let me know in the comments down below if I'm wrong about that or if they changed it. But to my knowledge, they haven't changed that. But if you scroll down, if you're looking through her policies, which once again, I hope you do, a few things that I found really noteworthy. The first one is breaking down unfair and unnecessary barriers to employment for Black men. A portion says Vice President Harris knows that Black men are disproportionately shut out of the job markets on their criminal records and credit scores. To me, in my opinion, and we know that the justice system disproportionately criminalizes and slaps on these criminal records a lot more harsher on Black and brown people. So for her to recognize that, once again, I like that. I appreciate that, because she's not pretending there's nothing wrong with what she's saying right here. Vice President Kamala Harris believes that employers should consider a job candidate's qualifications first, without the stigma of a conviction or arrest record. That's why she will work with Congress to inquire businesses to limit the use of unnecessary, keyword unnecessary. I can already imagine some people are like, letting rapists and just weirdos just apply for any job. It says unnecessary criminal arrest histories, convictions, and credit scores, which, once again, I don't agree with the whole credit score thing in their employment discussion. To me, that's a big deal, because if we can acknowledge facts, statistics that been backed by a lot of credible sources, we need policies to confront that. And like I said, like you can take out black men and this and this. It sounds like it's something that will help people overall. You know what I'm saying? So I really do appreciate that. The next one is providing more pathways for black men to become teachers and school leaders. Only 1% of public school teachers are black men. Vice President Harris will build a pipeline of black male teachers. I like the way that she used the word pipeline, because normally when you hear a word like that, you're thinking of something negative, like from the schoolroom to prison pipeline. That's really, at least to me, the only time I really hear that phrase. So I really like how she said she will build a pipeline of black male teachers. And that's what we need, including by investing in programs under the Department of Education, which Trump wants to eliminate. Hey, that was a beautiful jab right there. It wasn't out of context. And it's true, because everybody knows that Trump and the Republicans want to eliminate the Department of Education. But if we listen here, we'll see how she wants to use that and utilize that for black and brown people. What Trump wants to eliminate, to collaborate with historically black colleges and universities and minority serving institutions that will empower black men and others to enter and succeed in the teaching profession, where they can serve as role models and mentors to students to improve academic outcomes. Beautiful. That's what I want to see right there. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Providing black men and their families with reliable, low-cost internet access. And trust me, I know families all through Colorado. I've known a lot of people, especially with having this platform. I can connect and have these conversations with people. Bills are bills, and bills are expensive. You know what I'm saying? So any help that Americans can get when it comes to these expensive bills is a plus. Now, of course, can they do more? Do we want them to do more? Of course. But anything helps. So she says, by reenacting the Affordable Connectivity Program, the bipartisan infrastructure laws, Affordable Connectivity Program provides 23 million households with up to $30 off their monthly internet bill and one-time discount for up to $100 to buy a laptop, desk computer, or tablet. This program connected an estimate 5.5 million black households to affordable high-speed internet, closing the digital divide for millions of black families. Once again, you can take out the words black family or black and substitute it just with families, which I think is the sentiment she's trying to go for. But I think she's trying to make a point that this will overwhelmingly, if I can speak English, benefit black people, which once again, if that's how you have to phrase it, honestly, I don't care. As long as you can help black folks get from under these institutions' foot, if that makes sense, and be able to thrive and have opportunities and make sure that we can get jobs, high quality jobs, and take care of our families. That's the only thing I really care about. So these are just a few things that I found into this, into her whole 9-page document here. And one thing that I really want to stress here, and I heard this on, I forget what radio podcast I was listening to, and they brought up a good point, because it sounds good on paper. Of course, if you go through the whole thing, it sounds like she just had her in a team to create this, and it sounds good. But my one worry is, and they did this to my boy Obama when he wanted to appoint his own Supreme Court judges, and Mitch McConnell was like, hey, player, that ain't gonna happen on my watch. And look what happened. He wasn't able to appoint, I think he was only able to appoint one, I believe, and shut him down for the rest of his terms. And Trump was able to strong arm, what, 3 of them? So my only worry is, how far is Kamala Harris willing to go when it comes to implementing her black agenda for black Americans? Is this something that she's just going to propose and, leave it up to Congress to figure out? And what if Republicans or some shady Democrats say no or decide to block it? How far is she willing to go to make this happen? And to me, that's what I think matters when it comes to presidential politicians. When you get into office, how much of what you promise are you going to get done? Are you going to just throw something together, throw it to the Congress and just be like, well, I tried, and it didn't work. So, my job's done here. Or are you going to use your bully pulpit, flex your muscles, and get things passed? And that's what I want to see in my Democratic candidate. Because we've seen Trump do it. Trump passed things that wasn't even popular by general Americans. And he was able to strong arm what he wanted for his constituents. So I want to see Harris get into that White House, and whatever she's promising on this sheet right here, I want you to do all that you can to get this passed. And that's all that matters to me. But once again, if you guys disagree with me on anything that I said here and you want to have a conversation, go ahead, join the Discord down below. The link should be down there. But if you guys just want to hit me up, talk to me in the comments down below, go ahead and do that. And like always, let's have that conversation.